The Shark Deck.
I'm Johnny Mac with 5 good news stories. Good news if you're an elephant. You know who has your back? Cher. Yeah, I didn't know about this. In late November 2020, Cher went from LA to Pakistan to ensure the safe relocation of Kaven, who's an Asian elephant who was languishing in the Islamabad Zoo. Cher has a charity fund called Free the Wild. Kaven wound up moved to a sanctuary in Cambodia, but Cher's worried about Billy, who is a 38-year-old elephant who has spent nearly his entire life at the LA Zoo. There are calls for Billy to be released to a sanctuary. Cher said, "I think about him all the time. He's in constant pain from the cement-like ground he walks on. He's been there for 1 million years. He deserves to spend his last years in a sanctuary, but zoos keep elephants because they're the big draw. They bring in the big bucks." In Ukraine, we transferred 6 lions, a bear, a panther, and a tiger. We went in before the war and did everything to get them out, but we left the bear, so we had to sneak back in with a big pickup truck and get him out during the war. Wow. The London Zoo has conducted its annual weigh-in. They do that to keep records on the health and other measurements about the animal's well-being. Angela Ryan is the London Zoo's head of zoological operations and said, "Having this data helps to ensure that every animal we care for is healthy, eating well, and growing at the rate they should." The zoo's heaviest animal is Maggie, who's a giraffe. Maggie weighs around 1,600 pounds. The zoo's smallest animal is a leafcutter ant, 5 milligrams. In case you're curious, the zookeepers don't measure each ant individually. They use estimates based on the weight of an entire colony. Weighing animals can be challenging. Zookeepers use different ways to get them to step, hop, skip, or jump onto the scale and stand up straight for measurements. For example, they tricked the Humboldt penguin chicks into walking over scales one by one by having them line up for their morning feed. A new series, Animals in Therapy, is using comedy and connection to advocate for animal conservation. A press release from On the Edge says, unlike many campaigns which feed eco-anxiety, the new series uses comedy and relativity to deliver a pertinent message that we're all closely aligned to certain endangered species. There's even some famous people in this. You know, Rhys Darby from Flight of the Conchords? He's in a video with a kakapo. Meanwhile, Murray Bartlett, you know him from White Lotus and The Last of Us? He's in a video with 2 otters, and the text asks, do humans also feel happiness? You can find both Season 1 and Season 2 of Animals in Therapy on the Edge YouTube channel. Two pen pals have met in person 68 years after they began writing letters back and forth. They're both 80 years old, Patsy Gregory and Carol Ann Krause. They started swapping letters in 1955 when they became Girl Scouts on opposite sides of the Atlantic Ocean. They swapped more than 800 letters, always remembering each other's birthdays, wedding anniversaries, and Christmas. But they never met in person until recently. Patsy told her daughter Steph that she always wanted to visit Carol Ann, who lives in South Carolina. So her family surprised her with a ticket to the USA on her birthday. Patsy said, it was quite emotional. It was lovely. I didn't feel any nerves. I was excited. It was great to be able to meet her at last. It was just as though I'd seen her last week because we'd known each other for so long. We would write about what had happened in the day at school or anything that was going on, where we were going, who we went out with, or whatever. We were just sharing news as you would with a friend next door. The pair chatted for hours about their friendship and took in the local sights. Well, good news for the man who dreamed of becoming a collie. He purchased a human-sized dog costume for about $14,000-$15,000. He got his wish. He went on YouTube. He showed off his first in-costume interview with Spanish international news agency EFE and said, since I was a child, I wanted to change. When I'm dressed in the suit, I feel so happy because my dreams came true. I received all kinds of messages. Among the positive messages, some tell me they want to do what I've done. This has allowed me to see that there are other people like me. Toko dresses up in costume a few times a month and sometimes worries about his friends' reactions. He had previously told the Mirror, I rarely tell my friends because I'm afraid they'll think I'm weird. My family and friends seem very surprised to learn that I became an animal. If you want such a costume, a Japanese agency called Zeppit can make one for you. It apparently took Zeppit 40 days to make Toko's costume. A Zeppit employee said they found a way to create the skeleton structure of a dog and spent a lot of time studying it. In addition, we collect photographs taken from various angles so that the beautiful coat of the collie can be reproduced and devised so that the coat will flow naturally. Those are your 5 good news stories for today. Follow the show for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your shows. You have a great day.